Oh, I don't find the theme song very creative. How about that? That's my fiat. Live from the 2025 ESG All-Star Game.
Oh.
Starring the ISS mascot, Proxy the Foxy. It's a Business Pants Friday show here at March 14th Studios. Woo! Almost spring.
I want Proxy the Foxy merch.
Featuring analyst Matt Mascari, that's Matt, on today's weekly wrap-up. Sam Altman wants free popsicles for life or the world will end. M&M's, soon to be monochromatic. And ISS is bored and lonely without Nelson Peltz.
Aw, womp womp womp.
Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFlowAnalytics.com, the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance for free. Even the free part's not even that important. I know that's the part you care about, but I'm actually interested in the fact that it's the only platform measuring board power, connections, and performance.
Oh, so
you can read that two ways.
You like the only, and I like the free. So really, this is just like an adjective-adverb debate.
Well, after using this for several months, I would have to pay for this data if it wasn't free anymore because I rely on it consistently. Here's what I look at. I look at overall percentages for the board members. Especially interested in their earnings and their TSR averages. But the influence number, that's the big one. That's the one I can't live without. I need to know which directors I think have the bigger impact in the boardroom, especially when I'm making decisions about vote recommendations. I want to know these things.
mean, we have access to, like, the good people at Free Float Analytics gave us access to all the data, which is great. But when I use the platform, the number I always check first is when you go in and you look at, like, the network tab, like for the when you're looking at a company, it basically shows you the percentage of directors that are connected to one another. I use that. That's like the first thing I always look at. Like, how many friends do these people have in common? I use that every single time. I love it.
The only problem I'm seeing is that I'm checking the New York Times. They have an article last week called "These Words Are Disappearing in the New Trump Administration." My only issue, Matt, is that the platform, the database, uses 3 of those words I'm seeing: gender,
oh no,
diversity,
no,
and female.
Oh no.
Yeah, they don't like the word. They don't like female.
Is that one of the words that they actually got rid of?
Female and females. First of all, it's not how you use female. You don't say females. Female you use as an adjective. So the Trump friends are idiots. Females.
Well, look, grammar wasn't their strong suit, but I think what they're saying is they're afraid of more than one of them, right?
Okay,
that's what. They're just saying.
You might be right because while the word women is on that list, woman is not on the list.
Right, because it's fine to be one
you
woman.
Can control.
If there's like 20 men and one woman, is man on that list or men?
Stop. Just. Well, the only mention of the word men, believe it or not. All this is true, and again, I find this in the New York Times. The only reference of men is this: they don't want you using the phrase "men who have sex with men."
That's true. I remember that.
Right, which I don't remember anyone ever using that phrase to begin with. But whatever, it's fine.
Well, somewhere someone must have defined in like an NIH paper, like we did a study involving gay men, and then in parentheses they wrote men who have sex with men, like that. Okay. Like they just wanted to clarify.
Right. Thank God.
All right, let's do this. Story of the week, Dave. Make these good. I want to feel like these are important stories this week. What's the
no
important
particular
story?
order? Actually, let me start with. Let me get it out of the way first. There's always going to be a Tesla story.
No,
Elon Musk. Hate it. But these headlines were compelling. I have a bunch of them under the same theme. Tesla's fall from grace may have no equal, says J.P. Morgan. Quote, "We struggle to think of anything analogous." I like that one. They also a few more headlines in that gist. Morgan Stanley's auto analyst polls his clients on what they think of Elon Musk. The results make for grim reading.
Yeah.
Tesla's reputational hit while Elon Musk works for Trump is unprecedented, JP Morgan says. And finally, Trump declares Tesla boycott illegal and vows to buy a new car from Elon Musk in solidarity. Is that really going to help the company buying
It's
a
just
Tesla?
the one. It's just the plus one.
Well, okay. I guess the only way this works is that if every MAGA person suddenly buys Tesla, because you're only making it worse, Trump. By buying a car, you're only turning off more Tesla car owners.
So we know that that's less than 50% of buyers, though. So like, so just the math is still not in their favor. But I wanted to get, I was looking for a way to put JP Morgan in assholiest because they put out basically a sell side research paper that said like, there is no analogy for Tesla's fall. This is unprecedented. Elon Musk is basically destroying this company. It was the gist of the entire sell side paper, and no, the fundamentals don't match the price anyway, right? Because it trades at like 140 multiple instead of what everybody else trades at, which is like a 10. So even if you considered it a tech company, it should be trading. Nvidia trades at a 40. So you should be trading it like at roughly a third of the current price at best, if you're lucky, right? So I wanted to find a way to make JP Morgan the asshole and say like, well, you guys were all in on this, like on Musk like 6 months ago and the Trump bump and all that, except JP Morgan was the one that was out on it. Really? They wrote a report in like July of last year saying
warning of this situation.
They warned that this is not sustainable. This price, they had price cuts then. I have to imagine that they voted for every director.
So that's what I was going to ask. But yet they probably supported the entire slate of directors.
I'm sure they voted for every single director, but they also said that this is unsustainable. So I don't know what to think. I didn't know what to think.
The other story, that's the top story of the week. The other big one that was trending yesterday. First, this one. OpenAI urges Trump administration to remove guardrails for the industry.
Oh yeah, that's an idea. It's an idea.
That one absolutely frightened me. That's crazy. Of course, do you even need to ask the Trump administration to remove guardrails? I mean, that's all they're doing is removing guardrails for everything, right? So, but then like a mere hour later, this other headline, this is all Sam Altman complaining about things. OpenAI declares AI race over if training on copyrighted works isn't fair use. So basically what he's saying is that if you don't give me access to everything.
If I can't steal everything,
then essentially China will win and the world will be over as we know it. He's basically doing the Mark Zuckerberg. He's threatening that if you don't let me have complete and utter dominance.
But they all do this.
Do they? Who's they all? You mean in the tech industry?
In the tech industry.
Okay,
like,
well.
Mark Andreessen's like manifesto, his techno-optimist manifesto, effectively is like everyone needs to stop having rules so that we can win everything.
Why can't they pay? Why can't they pay for the works that they're using to train in their AI? They got a boatload of money over there.
Because they'll make less money if they do that.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Like that's
right.
Stupid.
So
idea
actually,
you have.
Sam is lying. They can still beat China. They can beat DeepSeek. It's just that he'll have less money in his pocket. That's the whole takeaway.
Yes, he wants all the money. Yes.
Other disturbing AI headlines this week to go along with that. Grab co-founder Anthony Tan. I'm already disturbed by that. Grab co-founder.
Don't
Anthony
like
Tan
a company named Grab. No, not a fan.
He says, quote, humans who don't embrace AI will be replaced by AI. We're already there, Matt. In 2025, we're already hearing statements like that from the founders of tech companies. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you should just bear hug your doom. That's what you should do.
Alibaba releases AI model that reads emotions.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
A new wearable from dating app Raw promises to track your partner's emotions in real time.
Okay, is emotions did they meant to write sexual urges there? Because like that's clearly what I can only picture men going to buy a wearable to give to their girlfriends
Yeah.
where it says whether they're in the mood for sex. That's the only way that I feel like that's really designed.
And how about this one? The entire internet is being polluted by AI slop. How about that headline?
Well, I don't really know what that means. What is
it means
AI
that we're not
slop?
I think it means that we're not far away from knowing like what anything is. If anything is real, if anything's created by humans, if anything's been vetted, if anything means anything, it's just going to be a bunch of AI content, I suppose. So that's my second story of the week, mostly centered around Sam Altman kind of begging for more power. The first story was Tesla's fall from grace. Third story, along the lines of Sam Altman asking for deregulation, the I guess we saw this one coming, but the headlines are making the rounds this week. EPA launches biggest deregulatory action in U.S. history.
I saw that.
EPA chief says 31 actions being taken to roll back environmental regulations. Most of the actions will include regulations on power plants, the oil and gas industry, vehicles, and wastewater. Those are all things I would really feel comfortable if they were regulated.
Yeah.
Really? I'm honestly like, especially the last two, vehicles and wastewater. Like, I don't know. I every time I'm on the highway these days, now they make cars that go 100 miles per hour effortlessly. I kind of want that shit to be regulated. And also, wastewater.
I want the actual shit to be regulated. I want
wastewater
to be regulated. That seems like a no-brainer to me.
And finally,
we figured that out in the year 1000 BC. Downstream from shit, bad. Right?
I have nightmares of what it would have been like to live in cities like New York and Boston before.
In like 1700s or 1800s.
Where they're just dumping things off balconies. Like, I have nightmares about that. And finally, and I'm including this one because I'm patting myself on the back because I think I made this prediction earlier in the year. But already, here's the headline: CEO pay is surging amid a roaring bonus rebound. A few other headlines that go along with the story: skyrocketing CEO pay can lead to huge corporate culture problems and whistleblowing employees. I never thought of it from that perspective, but I appreciate that. And also, CEOs are the gloomiest they've been in over a decade. So they're all having a sad.
Oh,
because
wow.
the man essentially they all supported, Trump, is now causing, his brand of chaos, which is what he does. That's his brand. And now they're all sad because they don't know how to react. They don't know what to do.
Should you get paid a massive bonus if you're gloomy? Is that just to make you feel better? Like, you're gloomy, here's some money. Is that what that is?
That's the discordance that is the most frightening here. Is that they're worried, things are bad, there's chaos, they don't know how to make decisions, and yet their pay is just going up.
As long as pay goes up.
Yeah. So those are my four stories. What do you think?
So we got Tesla. The stock fall, the EPA deregulation, OpenAI, basically man-babying regulations, like everybody does.
Or else China. Although you got to ask a lot of Americans these days, they probably would be happy with China taking over some of our systems in America now after what we're seeing Doge and Elon Musk do.
I'll be honest. I want a BYD car.
Yeah, I do too. Absolutely.
I mean, those cars look cool, and they're like half
affordable.
The price of everything else.
Yeah.
And then CEO pay is surging. This one's hard. This week there was so much content around Tesla's stock fall.
Always, yeah.
But I don't think it's like. Do we really
go back
think
up? It's a meme stock, so it's going to bounce. Yeah, of course.
So I don't buy much into the stock fall, and
It's not about the stock fall that I picked those stories. I think it's just about finally people are sort of catching up to the narrative.
I don't think so.
No,
Do you think so? I think if the stock goes back up, the narrative goes away. They still vote in every single fucking director.
That's the thing that surprises me is that now more than ever, I would think analysts like at J.P. Morgan, Morgan Stanley would demand a board that just provides even just adequate oversight, even if it's not all-star board members, just an independent level of oversight would be nice.
I mean, that we ousted Jack Dorsey for less there were multiple activists demanding that because he's the CEO of two companies that and wanted to go to Africa, that he gets fired. What are we talking about here? Like this is dumb. Like and if the stock goes up, everyone shuts up again.
Yeah.
The CEO pay surging, I'll come back to in the assholiest. It's down to OpenAI and EPA to me, and I think the EPA. EPA, I'm also going to come back to a little bit, but the EPA basically changed its mission. Like it's.
I don't even
For
know
those of you who don't live in the United States, EPA stands for Environmental Protection Agency.
Yeah,
that's the mission. It now has changed itself to allow like gross wastewater and oil spills. Like that's now the new mission. I don't really understand. And then OpenAI basically is doing the same thing every tech pro. I'm going to go with EPA. That's what I'm going to go with. I think that's the right answer.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the EPA. I usually wouldn't choose EPA as the story of the week, but I do think it's one thing. The Trump administration, when you're talking about guardrails, like asking to remove guardrails, I'm pretty sure the Trump administration is doing that anyway. But they're even I think they're firing anyone whose last name is Guardrail. Like they're just everything that looks like
female. Yeah.
Well, women.
David female is being fired. Now listen, and the reason why I include this story because we try to stay away from there's 25,000 podcasts and shows that cover politics like this. But I'm just looking at the perspective of, and this is how I framed this error for the last few months, is that this is all about a CEO power grab, right?
Yeah.
Everything Trump does is just pushing more and more power into the hands of CEOs. Not just Elon Musk, but really all of them, right?
But now there has never been a greater case for investors to actually now the buck stops with you.
I would think now
investors.
absolutely. I think now would absolutely be the time that you would really slow down and scrutinize your favorite board members.
You have to know the stakeholder impact of this. Like if people are getting cholera because wastewater is no longer regulated,
that's a major risk to ongoing
I would
operations.
Call that a risk.
Yeah.
I would call that a risk.
And trust me, if you go to the annual reports, the 10Ks, you're going to see those risks already listed there. So Trump is just enabling these companies to make massive mistakes that could put huge targets on their backs.
And not to mention that you're taking a short-term bet that in 2 years the Congress of the United States doesn't flip, or in 4 years there's not a new president who flips it, right?
That's true too.
And then the regulations come back, and all these companies have done really heinous or lackadaisical shit in the interim.
Well, yeah,
you got legitimate liabilities.
I had a realization yesterday, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to think this. And since I'm now seeing this as the era of the CEO, although one would make the case it's been the era of the CEO for since the Gilded Age,
which differentiates it from what?
But clearly, the power of CEOs is increasing at an alarming rate. But I realized yesterday that our next president probably will be another former CEO, Mark Cuban. That's my guess.
Oh, I mean, I like.
No,
Cuban.
I'm fine with Mark Cuban being. Look, there's a list of people I'd rather have, but I'm fine with him over especially our current administration. I'm just saying I think we're just going to start handing the reins to different CEOs for the next 50 years.
In which case,
because they have the most spending power, they have the most friends with spending power, they have the most influence. They as you were talking about earlier this week, just the amount of sheer corporate board members and CEOs that are on non-profit boards, they basically control thoughts in America, right? They control corporate thought, they control non-corporate thought, education board, wherever, art boards. So I'm just wondering if this just means we're going to have a bunch of CEOs as president.
I just think anybody whose checks and balances in their lives are just their friends, right? Like people they know, like their networks, effectively. I think that's the wrong model of governing. I don't think governance should be in the purview. I can tell you that if I put my friends in chart, if I ran my life and then had them, look at my finances to make sure everything's okay, not one of them would be telling me to, go like they're going to fire me from running my life. They would all just kind of be like, fine, yeah, I guess it's your life.
Essentially, just to me, you're just increasing the inevitability of high risk situations in the like I see you like you're leaving your riding lawnmower on.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I don't
none
have
of
a
your
riding
friends are telling
lawnmower,
you.
but
None
yeah.
of your friends care or telling you to not do that or right.
Yeah,
so
they're just like, I guess Matt leaves his lawnmower running. That's
this
just
is
what
why
he
you
does.
just need oversight. It just helps you avoid risks.
Mostly lawnmower-based
yeah.
risks.
All
All right,
right.
let's go to Goodliest.
You go
All right.
first. You go first.
I've only got one.
Well, go ahead.
It's one with 3 headlines to back it up.
Sure.
My Goodliest of the week is judges, right?
Oh.
Judges.
Okay.
So last time,
Judge
Trump 1.0, the
Judy?
deep state was like the bureaucrat, right? Like the nameless government bureaucrat who effectively was doing their job regardless of what Trump was asking them to do. They just showed up and they did their job. This time around, these are the headlines. Elon Musk must turn over records and answer questions on what he's doing at Doge. Judge orders.
I wonder if he'll do that. Yeah, go ahead.
The Trump administration must bring back thousands of federal workers fired by Elon Musk's Doge. Judge rules.
Right.
And President Trump's SEC allows woke shareholder proposals. NLPC denied.
Now,
Like,
yeah, I actually picked that very same headline as one of my good lists.
I mean, these are
Yeah.
like the
That
fact
one
is,
I had a giggle over that one. And NLPC being the National Legal Policy Center that is the kingpin of anti-woke theater, shareholder proposal theater at public corporations.
it just seems like when there's somebody who like reads the law and like understands the rules, not everybody is Elon Musk who says the rules should not apply to me. Like the vast majority of us, the rules apply to us and read those rules. And judges have some power.
You know what? I'm starting to realize, Matt, maybe he's saying that because he doesn't really understand the rules. Because he's making these decisions not only in places like the Department of Education, Social Security. Now he's at the National Security Center, like the FBI type of, what's it, the National
Yeah, he's at the
NSC.
Pentagon somewhere.
He doesn't know anything about any of that stuff. Like,
No,
why
of course
are
not.
you
Well,
asking this guy?
It's
to
not even
articulate-
him. It's like 7 guys he met on Twitter who he's
why
sending
should
in.
why should he follow the rules, Matt? He doesn't understand the rules.
Yeah, but the rules don't, like when you have hundreds of billions of dollars at your personal disposal, the rules, you do not think the rules apply to you, especially for 2 people. So Trump and Musk, they're like, their sort of codependency, their sort of sweet love together, is the fact that their inclination is to never follow a single contract or rule that they set and sue anybody who they don't like. That's the only thing that they ever do. Trump has a long history of breaking every possible contract he's ever been in, taking on too much debt, breaking every contract, declaring bankruptcy when it's expedient to him, and short shrifting everyone he's ever worked with. Meanwhile, Elon Musk, what did he do when he got Twitter? He fired every employee. He didn't pay his rent. He didn't pay the vendors. He's doing the same exact thing. This is the pattern. The pattern is like once you have the once somebody
Break
believes
things,
the
keep
cult of
moving.
personality enough and you have the power, you don't have to follow a single rule.
Now that
because
you mention it, Matt,
no one
I'm
cares.
wondering, the person I'm now surprised that is not part of the administration is former WeWork failure Adam Newman. Well, I wonder why he's not involved with Trump. Okay, here are my good lists. Now, I'm endeavoring this year to when I can, when I find something in alignment with the Trump administration, I point it out. See, I'm trying to cross aisles. I'm trying to be fair and balanced here. RFK Jr. pressures Big Food to remove artificial dyes in meeting with CEOs.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I can't wait till MAGA Americans start buying Halloween candy and it's all like it's all like
brown,
the same, monochromatic. They're gonna be so angry. They're gonna be so mad when they realize what RFK and everyone, all their friends are dying of like whooping cough and measles, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck did we elect here? What's happening?"
Forget
Skittles
that.
are white.
Are you excited? Like, I don't know if you're Christian, but are you excited for Easter?
You don't know if I'm Christian.
Catholic?
Excuse me?
Like I'm talking to our listeners. I
sorry.
don't know if you're Christian or Catholic, but You dye Easter eggs using like red
Well,
food dye.
what about beet juice? Nothing stains like beet juice.
Yeah, so you have a bunch of reddish eggs. That's
Yeah.
all you could do because it's
I
not.
love beets. It's fine with me. I
Yeah.
love beets.
I love it.
And then I'll wait to get to my best good list. Starbucks CEO defends company's DEI practices, says they are key strength of business. That's what? And finally, these two headlines. Costco, geez. Costco is looking. Here's the first headline. Costco is looking like the big winner after Target's DEI rollback. In fact, I myself, I've been talking to Jessie, the Money Whisperer. She's basically convinced me I'm switching my allegiance to Costco. As much as I don't want to go to the big scary store, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go to Target anymore. But listen to this headline, Matt. Costco workers now officially make $31 an hour.
Wow.
And can expect raises for the next 2 years. What is going on at Costco, Matt? This is crazy talk.
I seriously need a job at Costco.
What is happening? I feel faint. Like they're supporting DEI and they're paying their workers a living wage. Like I don't understand anything. Is Costco real? Why is Darren Woods not sued Costco? Costco investors. I don't understand.
That works out to a gross salary of $64,000 a year.
Yeah, which in a lot of these cities that we live in is still barely enough to afford a nice home, but it is. It's a great salary.
There's a Costco near us. Like you could live a life on a Costco salary now, right?
Yeah, but I also read that Hartford has a hot real estate market, so the prices are going up quickly, so they're going to need that money. Yeah.
Everybody wants to move to Hartford.
Well, I'm not judging the articles I read. Anyway, that's a bunch of good lists.
I'm gonna go with Costco as the good list here.
Fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you because the judges are great, but these are all temporary rulings. I'm sure they'll find a way to roll them back.
As an asterisk, though, I do love that the National Legal Policy Center is whining about Trump's SEC. I just love it.
Yeah, it is good. It is fun. All right, let's do asshole.
Come on.
All right. I have mostly headlines here. All right, so first up, and this is in no particular order, I'm going to do the short one first, which is sycophants.
Ooh.
Here's 4 headlines.
Yeah.
Meta uses Elon Musk's X algorithm for its new community notes.
Okay. This is the part of this world that drives me insane, and especially it's like centered on people like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. These new community notes, the Elon Musk's X, the algorithm that they developed, is like it just started. Like they've had no time to study its effects, to study the efficacy, to study anything. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Stop it.
Drives me crazy. About all these college dropouts. It drives me absolutely crazy.
The reason why I'm choosing this is, can you suck up to Musk and Trump more than you literally are copying his algorithms? Like,
no.
And
it's
first
the
of all,
age of the Musk-Trump suck up.
Has Zuck ever created anything? He
Anything.
stole every idea he's had, that's made him money. He stole from somebody else.
Matt, there are so many recall stories about all his products, not just Teslas, but like exploding rockets and boring tunnel failures. I don't even mention them anymore. There's so many of them.
Both Zuck and Musk are basically stealing mooches for the most part. Like they steal from everything. Like they're such suck ups. It's unbelievable. How about this headline? OpenAI urges Trump administration to remove guardrails for the industry. The reason why I chose that as a suck up is because of this headline from 2023. OpenAI's Sam Altman urges AI regulation in Senate hearing. So when it was expedient for Sam Altman to go he had to go in front of, Congress and testify about AI. He was begging the Biden administration for regulation because the Biden administration was talking about regulating AI. So he's out there being like, oh, we really need a regulation. I'm begging for it. We need to craft it. We need to craft it well. We need to save humanity from us, effectively is what he's saying. We made fun of him for it. And now he's saying, oh, we should have no regulation because this is the party of no regulation. So they just say it doesn't matter who's there. They're just going to say whatever it is anyone wants to hear. What a bunch of fucking suck ups these people are. Here's another one.
Yeah.
CEOs say they are losing faith in Trump. I don't trust what he said today will be true tomorrow.
Losing faith? This is a new thing?
Really, guys?
This is
You're
new?
the ones who are all backing him 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Like all the CEOs uniformly were pro-Trump because they wanted less regulation. They wanted all the Trump bump in the stock market was everyone expecting all this growth. And now you're like, oh, we're losing faith in him. We don't know what he's going to do. You never knew what he was going to do. You guys are fucking suck ups before, and now you're paying for it now.
Here's the one you missed. Just this week, although there was another. Okay, I'll start with one that happened last month. Melania Trump signed are you ready for this, Matt? Melania Trump signed a $40 million content deal with Amazon last month, and now this week, there's reports that Jeff Bezos is buying the entire Apprentice series, Donald Trump's corny Apprentice series from like 20 years ago. So Jeff Bezos, too, doing everything he can to suck up to Trump.
Not to mention that when they play The Apprentice, if you watch it then, knowing how he governs now, does that actually make him look better or worse? Like him going, you're fired. He just did that to like 80,000 federal employees for no reason.
Yeah. Anyway, all right.
So asshole number one.
What else?
Sycophants. Asshole number two. CEOs. Look. This is another way of me getting at investors because they are voting for pay and for nom committees. I love getting at an investor. But you talked about CEO pay surging. Here are headlines of CEO pay surging, okay? Moderna CEO Stéphane Bancel scored pay bump in 2024 despite revenue decline and missed sales target. Real estate company Colliers gives CEO stock awards valued at $48 million after concluding he was underpaid. Cardinal Health CEO pay climbs to $25 million. Median worker pay dropped. U.S. Bancorp CEO pay increased 14% in 2024. This is the real game. The next C-suite, here's the headline. The next C-suite pivot is from DEI to Doge mindset, and leadership roles are in it for a shakeup. What's really happening is CEOs now have carte blanche. The Doge mindset is fire everyone, keep the money. That's what's literally, you're cutting staff. You're like removing all your DEI stuff. DEI is basically a hit to labor. It might be one or two particular cohorts of labor, but it's a hit to labor and labor rights because you're removing their rights to actually marginalize people's rights to actually improve their station in life. You have carte blanche to fire everyone you work for. And now that you're all gloomy because of the economy that you helped get this guy elected, the economy that you don't like so much, now you actually have justification to cut staff even more and take the Doge mindset.
Yeah.
Notice how everyone's pay is going up?
They're gonna fire for quote unquote performance, but they're not gonna tell us how they figured out that performance was bad.
Correct. Where's the measurement? Like when your median worker pay dropped at Cardinal Health. That's the headline, right? Why? Why did the median pay drop for the median employee? Did they do a worse job?
There could be no justification for that because especially as Americans, we know that the price of everything is going up year after year. It's zero justification. It's
purely a money grab, and every dollar that the CEO makes, they're taking from a shareholder, right? Like you're the owners of the companies. You own the stock. Where are you? You could literally say no to every pay pack. In fact, this year, my advice would be say no to every pay package unless it dropped from last year.
Well, let me piggyback on that because I'm covering this on. We have another show called The Proxy Countdown, which is a more sober look at the things that we're talking about, less corny jokes like we do on these shows. But I'm covering the pay raise at CBRE Group. And this is how they're doing it, Matt. And this is why I would suggest that you vote against pay and compensation committees, the members, because this is how they do it. This is the magic bullshit. They very quietly raise all of the discrete elements of the pay packages. So they boost your salary, they boost your annual bonus target, they boost your equity target, and then magically somehow the CEO is now eligible for I'm looking at CBRE now, he's eligible for $8 million more essentially, just because they've tweaked the elements, right? And all of this despite the fact that the company, they missed their annual financial performance targets last year. They missed their core EPS equity target. They missed their target TSR equity award target. They missed everything. And yet they've tweaked it all up. They've just kind of quietly, because what they know is that investors either aren't paying attention or won't pay attention, because as you're going to cover ISS later in this show and on the proxy countdown, is that
cover them next.
Is that entities like ISS just refuse to pay attention. It's like they're sitting on their hands.
Well, you pulled something brilliant that we've been covering on the proxy countdown. You pulled this a bunch of times, which is CEO pay is incredibly complex on purpose, right? Like it's got so many elements and it's got so many levers, and you could spend a day on every CEO's pay package and still not totally understand what's going on. And there's no way you could cover everything in your portfolio, right? That's why people hire ISS or an Equilar or whatever to look at CEO pay. You pulled this one thing in the shows that I thought was, honestly, you could just vote on that. And it's that the vast majority of CEOs are given a whole bunch of equity grants, right? They get bonuses, and it's always in the form of equity, some long, some short term. The way they structure those bonuses is they set a floor that they say, effectively, what you've started noticing is if the CEO performs in the bottom quartile for their peers, they will only get 75% of their bonus.
Right.
Imagine being anyone else, anywhere else, and being in the bottom quartile of performance for whatever it is you do. Let's say you're a bricklayer and you laid bricks the slowest of everybody else.
Yeah.
They would never pay you 75% of a bonus that they said you could be eligible for.
Yeah.
I remember getting jobs and like our friends, our colleagues, I know people who got zero bonus because they were considered bottom performers. They were super upset about it. They were like, it was really like bonus day was always tough. You know, they're like fully 25% of your friends got like nothing for their bonuses. And you look around at like the top performers and you'd be like, oh, they're not a fucking top performer. How'd they get so much money? And everybody argues about everything. This is mandated in their own pay packages that the CEOs can underperform they could be the worst of the worst and they will still get 75% of their pay.
I understand how individual investors might miss this nuance, but ISS should not be missing this.
Correct.
Listen
that is
to
correct.
This language from NASDAQ CEO Adina Friedman's new employment agreement. Because you're talking about you get 75% of your equity award for just sucking.
For being the worst, yeah.
This is in her new employment agreement that her target equity award, quote, will not be less than $15 million. It will not be less.
Nice.
So again, if they underperform everyone, she's still gonna make a ton of money just for sitting in the chair.
It's unreal. You know, like it was easier.
Where's the incentive to perform?
It was easier when they just gave them cash. Just give them cash.
You might be right.
And give them cash based on
actual
like you could make as much as $50 million in cash this year if you hit all these targets. If you don't hit these targets, you don't make $50 million in cash. You can make as much as zero, right? Like, isn't that a better incentive now if you just have cash?
Think, honestly, yeah. And by the way, when you look at the nature of the stock market and how things will go up for no apparent reason, then yes, I think you're right. My cash actually might be the best.
I mean, I'm talking about summary comp. I'm not even talking about realized comp, because when you talk about realized comp, you're talking about exponentially more in many cases, right? Like that's how billionaires get formed. They get 75. If you're the worst performer By every metric. You get 75% of your bonus. Your bonus is like millions of dollars. That bonus comes in the form of cheap option stock. So your stock at a lower price than the market that you have to sit around for 3 years to get. Now, CEOs, when they handpick their boards, they're going to sit around as long as they like for the most part, unless an activist walks in, which is a rare enough occurrence that you're not that worried about it.
Right.
You're going to get that vested option. And even if you get fired, most of the time they fire you and forward vest your options. They give you all your options to get you out the door, which means you got cheap options. So they're already in the money when your 3 years goes by. Your actual pay for being in the bottom quartile of performance for a given year is 2, 3, 4 times what you actually, like, what they write down. So not only were you in the bottom quartile, but you're getting 4x returns on your own pay for nothing, for being in the bottom quartile. You could be the worst. Imagine if they did that in sports. Imagine if like the worst player in sports joined a team and they paid them like
massive bonuses,
every single year, regardless of how they performed on the court. Like,
and it wouldn't matter, right? All you have
fired.
to do, because it just doesn't matter. Because if you're in the bottom quartile of sucky, you're still going to get a nice bonus. So again, where's the incentive? I mean,
it was one of the great polls I think you've ever done in the Proxy Countdown.
All right, what else you got? Is that all for Assholiest?
Last thing on Assholiest, and I'm not going to dwell on this because I have a deep analysis in the Proxy Countdown show. That's going to go out later today too, so you can go get that. But ISS.
Okay, why?
ISS is an easy target.
I was going to say, other than the obvious, why?
But a very, very simple reason.
Why this week?
Do you remember Nelson Peltz and the activists last year?
Do I remember? Yeah.
Do you remember it? I don't know.
Spent months on it.
I don't know if anybody else remembers it, but last year, a guy named Nelson Peltz took out an activist stake in Disney and nominated himself and Jay Rasulo to the board. Mm-hmm. Blackwell's, a second group, nominated some people to the board also, but Disney was like in a battle against activists for board seats, right?
Yep.
ISS put out a report, and I have the report from 2024, a 33-page report in which their recommendation was you vote withhold, not against, but withhold is basically against, right? For the purposes of counting.
Yes.
Withhold on Maria Lagomasino.
Only one director.
They chose only one director.
Okay.
They had all these justifications for it. The justifications fall effectively in just a couple of buckets. She was the longest tenured, under 10 years, 8 years at the time.
And she's still on the board now.
She's still on the board now, so she's still under 10 years of tenure.
She's still long tenured,
yeah. And she's still the longest tenured, but she was long tenured. She was involved in some egregious pay. They use the word egregious, in which she overpaid some CEOs. She underperformed according to Peltz's own TSR calculations.
And I'm fine with all this, by the way. This sounds like a good reason to get rid of her.
And poor succession planning, because
which is still the case, yeah.
She was on the board at the time of Chapek, and she's on the board now, but she was on the NomGov when Chapek was selected. So Susan Arnold was the chair of NomGov when they chose Chapek, but she was on the committee. So they use these four things to say, well, Peltz wanted to get rid of Lagomasino and replace it with his people, himself and Rasulo. ISS said, we agree that Peltz should be on the board and Lagomasino should be a withhold. That was their recommendation.
And again, from what we know of ISS, the only reason why they were doing this in the first place is because there was an inordinate amount of attention on Disney itself.
This was two activists. This report
they had to say something. They had to pretend like that they were taking Disney seriously.
So when activists are involved, ISS has a group called the Special Situations Group that actually does analysis. Mm-hmm. This is not like ISS is like John in Sector 7G doing a report on Disney. Yep. This is their Special Situations Group. They had 3 people, analysts on this. I mean, we did the analysis, and we're like 2 idiots, and we did a better, longer analysis on it than they did. But this is their Special Situations Group. It's all they do.
All right. Fast forward to today.
Now it's 2025.
Yeah.
Disney's proxy's coming up. We have
Yes.
it's next week, I think. I think
Yeah.
it's
Okay. Yeah,
their
it is.
their
It is.
AGM is coming up fast or
Mhm.
and this year I confirmed this with people who have ISS, who subscribe to ISS. They pulled the report, they looked at it. They did not send it to me because it's not legal. But they looked at it and they confirmed all of this. There are reports on this. Here's the headline. Proxy advisor ISS supports Disney board 1 year after the fight.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you said that because I was thinking about one of the reasons why they wanted to vote her out was egregious pay.
Yes.
And I'm looking at their pay ratio for Bob Iger, 746 to 1.
He got
That's
a 30% pay
746 to 1.
increase.
Yeah.
Disney underperformed the S&P 500 since Peltz took his stake in October of 23. They have continued to underperform the S&P in that time. Iger got a 30% pay increase. There is no succession plan that is actually articulated. They're actually relying on James Gorman, who joined the board, who successfully
From Morgan Stanley.
he was the CEO of Morgan Stanley. He had a successful succession plan, which actually implies that he chose his
means.
successor, not
Yeah.
the board, right?
Which is not how it's supposed to work.
Which is not supposed to work.
Yeah.
And Lagomasino's still on the board. She's
And
still
that's
the
how-
longest tenured, and she still underperforms.
And that's how Bob Iger keeps screwing up because he's picking his own successors. Yeah. Matt,
ISS.
Yeah.
How could this possibly be a different analysis?
maybe she's eating better, like more like low-fat cottage cheese or something.
Yeah, but this is literally the exact same situation. If an activist
Well, no one's
took a
paying.
stake,
Matt, no one's paying attention except for us.
that's why you're fucking assholes. Because every investor is going to vote. Like last year, Lagomasino got more than 50% of the vote. I think she was in the 60 or 70% range. 70%, I think, is what
Yeah.
she got. And this year, she's probably going to get 90.
Of course.
Because no one remembers the fact that what was said then, you could reject Peltz, but he's not wrong that this board is not good.
Yeah, and
It's
meanwhile-
not good.
And I don't think that everything we talk about is just merely about stock price. I that's a very short-termist point of view. But I will say, meanwhile, since a year ago, the stock is down 12%. So it's not like everything's turned around.
Correct. I redid Peltz's analysis on the TSR of each director's tenure, and every single one of them has gotten worse. It's worse than it was
But,
before.
Matt, you're missing the bigger point is that no one's paying attention. So ISS can go back and they can put the car in neutral. They can let it go through the car wash, and they can like do a jumbo word search or something. Like,
well, this is a plea.
they don't have to work. No
This
one's
is a
watching.
plea to investors. This is clear evidence that unless there's like an activist involved and there's a headline or some actual pressure to do their job, ISS is not doing anything. They are voting. They're not even consistent year over year. They don't even like vote against nominating committees when they don't like pay. Like nothing is consistent here. If they are recommending to you that you vote for the Disney board, they are ignoring their own analysis from last year, their own reasoning, and every single thing in that reasoning applies today, which means why are you paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to ISS to give you
That's
same?
the question I wonder. Yeah.
Like they're giving you their vote for unless someone's paying attention. They're literally counting on you not paying attention. ISS, you're fucking assholes. You are an insurance contract for the entire capital markets so that no one has to pay attention. And frankly, now you're a bad insurance contract. Voting for this board is probably politically the wrong thing to do in this country when the Trump administration calls them woke and wants to hate on them, right? And it's also the wrong thing to do when you look at the fundamentals and the data, yet ISS is saying vote for because it's just expedient.
Look,
no one cares. No one's paying attention.
Not only is she an easy target because she's the longest tenure, been there for a decade. She's also 75 years old, which is not a reason to get rid of her. But that's a lot of decisions are made that way. She's also, according to our data, she's only hitting 386 overall. My point is that have you seen the 2025 report from ISS?
I haven't seen it. I haven't
Okay,
been allowed to
okay.
see it, but I
Unless
know it's
they-
all four.
Unless they make a case, unless they specifically tell you all the reasons how she has improved since last year, then there is absolutely no justification for them to support her. None. They have to go point by point saying how she has turned all that around.
That case could not possibly include the reasons they said to vote her out. It would have to be a case entirely on something else, because all the reasons why they wanted to vote her out are still there and arguably are more egregious.
All right, all
right, those are your options.
CEO
pay, sycophants, and ISS.
God, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to go CEO pay, but we're going to be seeing this all year. Proxy season is just starting. Sycophants. I mean, yeah, but this has been going on since like last summer. The great kiss up of Trump and Musk. Look, I love picking ISS for asshole. I'm just I feel insulted. I mean, the amount of time and energy that we put not only into these shows, into the analysis of each show, but also into the platform, the database, the data, just the in articulating what the data means, everything. Like I just feel sad for ISS. It just sucks.
No, I don't feel sad.
It sucks that they can get away with this, that they want to get away with this, it's just dumb. If the category was renamed like dumbest of the week, but I'm gonna still vote for them. ISS, you're just disappointing. It's just disappointing.
Just buy free float data, and it'd be easier for you.
Who is going to be angry at you anyway if you just stick to your guns and say, hey, look, all the amazing, brilliant ideas we articulated last year are still true.
Correct.
Vote her out again. You would have saved yourself a bunch of effort anyway. But what are you
doing?
What are you up to?
What's
the point? What's the point?
You could have copy-pasted from the same report. You didn't even have to write anything.
All right, let's move on. Let's get out of here.
All right, let's do headlines, winners, predictions.
I have two good ones.
I only have one, and it's not great.
New York City weed shop. I just love weed shop owner. I didn't even know that it's legal in New York City now, I guess, right? Yes, in New York.
Yeah.
New York City weed shop owner says she may park her Tesla outside and give out. I missed the end of this. And give out sledgehammers to destroy it.
That's correct.
I'd like to see that. I want to be a part of that. I like that.
What a great idea. Not for your car, but great.
My second one is Facebook employees would lose board games against Zuckerberg on purpose, former executive claims. So I don't know if any of you are following, but there's a big anti-Meta, anti-Zuck book that's out. It's currently being sold now, but Facebook and Meta has done everything they can to sue to get this off the shelves, and I think they've won.
They won one preliminary. They said she can't market it anymore because it's defamation.
That's it. But
that's what they said.
But this is great marketing. The lawsuit against the book is all the marketing you need.
That's
right?
the irony.
No one would have ever bought this book or cared.
I literally have it. I don't buy anything on Amazon, and I have it in my cart as a result.
I want to hear what you say, but I love that headline. But you have another Tesla. Speaking of destroying Teslas outside weed shops, what's yours?
So mine is Trump says he will label vandalism against Tesla dealerships as domestic terrorism.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means. But again, the weed shop owner, it's her car and she's giving you the sledgehammer. So you can't arrest anyone.
Now she's a domestic terrorist.
No, it's her property. It's her property.
This I'll do my winner of the week because it dovetails right into my winner of the week. Yeah. Because the winner of the week clearly must be terrorists. Imagine if your plan was to bomb the Federal Reserve building and you got lumped in with a guy from Brooklyn with a handlebar mustache who spray painted the word jerk on a Tesla. Doesn't that water down terrorism? If you're a terrorist, it's a great day to be a terrorist. You're lumped in with people who don't like Elon Musk's cars.
My winner of the week are New York City weed shop owners who own sledgehammers. I mean, I lived in New York for over a decade. Matt, I don't remember many people owning sledgehammers. I'm just impressed that people in the city own sledgehammers. Where do you get a sledgehammer?
I don't know, but I like that she pluralized sledgehammer, right? Like
Yeah.
like it wasn't that she owns
Give
one
out
sledgehammer.
sledgehammers. Yeah.
It's sledgehammers
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
destroy her car. I like that.
Predictions.
I have a prediction. After the EPA changed its mission, effectively, so. Just to be clear, what the EPA said it was going to do is it's going to make its new job is to make energy cheaper and buying cars cheaper among the things that it wants to do. So after they changed their entire mission from protecting the environment, the Environmental Protection Agency no longer wants to protect the environment. They're going to sell cheaper cars and get people jobs, mostly bad jobs, but jobs. I think this is like an opening for everybody to change their mission. The Department of Health should change its mission to selling Big Macs entirely, which is RFK Jr. will not do, but I think you should consider it. And I think comp committees at public companies should start deciding whether, like the janitor named Eric is overusing their bathroom time. I think they should everybody should just basically, if you're a committee or an agency, your committee, you're going to rename your committee or agency to do whatever, you're going to remission it to do whatever you want.
Yeah. My prediction is that Sam Altman is going to demand that all the CEOs of all retail companies, like CVS, Target, he's going to demand they all give him free Kit Kats for life, or China will win.
That might actually happen. That's a good one. That might happen. That's it. That is Business Pants Friday show. That is Hazelnut Rawlis. I'm your analyst, Matt Scardy. We are Free Float. Come back next week when we've got 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 shows. How many shows do we do a week? We do too many. We do a lot.
Yeah,
we do a lot of things.
Too many. Yeah.
But there's
unlike ISS, we put some effort into it.
So look, if you're looking at Disney and you're like, what should I do for a vote? You can get free information at freefloatanalytics.com.
Matt, maybe that's why ISS doesn't do anything, because they don't actually use our data. I mean, we have access to great data here, which is why we are constantly articulating a point of view.
Yeah, but you know what? If you're a listener of this show, you do have access to great data for free just by signing up. And if you want more of that data, like deeper dives, and there's a lot more data, knowledge maps, connection maps, like multiple performance metrics, nonprofit board connection. You want all that kind of stuff? You can just contact Free Flow Analytics, and they will get it for you.
What are you waiting for? Come on,
get it done. Until next week. Goodbye.
You need time?
Yeah, it crashed, and
did it? On my end or your end?
No, not Riverside. My Excel.
Oh, ping me when you're on.
No. Like if you go pee now or something, if you need to, and then I'll sign on and I'll see you there.
All right.